Welcome everyone to this tutorial video to the new MetrixLab recruitment platform. On the platform, you'll be able to see the vacancies that are currently open. You can add candidates to a vacancy or to a project, and you can follow their progression through the recruitment process. The platform has been developed as part of a larger coordination effort within MetrixLab to facilitate the recruitment process. A coordinator is now in place to articulate between hiring managers and recruitment agencies. Let me show you the platform. So you have your link here, your credentials, pretty straightforward. You just log in. Let's do that. If you log in, you come into a dashboard here. You can obviously log out with this button. You can search for a specific candidate, and you have three interesting tabs here. The main one is the projects. So by projects, we actually mean vacancies. So if you click there, you will see all the projects, all the vacancies that need to be filled in. Here you can search for a specific project. So if you say, okay, I just want to see projects in the US, so you can search here. Let's not do that. You can also filter project by dates if you want. So dates will be the day the project has been open to you to work on, or by project name. There's quite a bit of interesting information on that page, because you can see here you have the candidates, and those candidates are all the candidates you've submitted to that vacancy. So in this project you've submitted 2, and in this one you had 9. If you look here in those lines, you can see the status of each of these candidates. So you can see that 1, this is under the bracket here, the number of candidates, so 1 is in the telephone screening phase. 1 has been introduced to the hiring manager, 1 is being interviewed by the hiring manager, 1 is pending, so it's waiting for approval. I'm going to get back to that afterwards. 2 have been made an offer. It's strange, but that's how it can happen. And then we can refuse the offer, or we can be hired, and at any time the hiring manager can decide to reject those candidates. So it's very easy for you to know where the candidates are in the recruitment process. I would say here you have big chance that one of your candidates is going through, but it's up to you to decide. But it's very, very easy for you, and you can just follow the steps. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to see, okay, it's almost done, or is at the very beginning of the process. So that's very interesting information for you. The pending, so what I mentioned about pending, so whenever you add a candidate, so you submit a new candidate to the coordinator, is going to review the profile of that candidate and is going to decide if he accepts that candidate to that project or not. If the candidate is rejected, you will see here rejected, and if it's accepted, obviously it will go into the telephone screening phase here. Yeah. So let's click on one project to see what we have as information here. So here you will have all your candidates. You can filter them by status. So you can say, I just want to see the one that is being introduced to the hiring manager. So that's John, right? So you can get into John. You can also see all the project information, and in the project information, so now there's very little information, but you will have the whole job description and whatever information you need to know to be able to recruit the right candidate for MetrixLab. If I go back to my candidates here, so I'll just take everyone, and I will just look for a candidate. I just want to know more about this candidate here. She's being in an offer negotiation phase, so that's pretty good. So I just want to know what's happening with her. So here you will see the general information of that candidate. So all the information you've submitted actually. So the name, the last name, the country, salary indication, email address, and here you have a very important information to add, which is a LinkedIn URL. So that's very important for the hiring manager, so you can also check on LinkedIn. If you don't submit a LinkedIn URL, your candidate will be rejected. You can, if the candidate doesn't have a LinkedIn account, which is very rare, you can add here another social media, or you can add this link, MetrixLab.com, first name, last name, if really this candidate do not have any social media account. But it's very important to add actually the LinkedIn URL when you have it. So here you can see all this information, but you can also see in the notes the feedback from the coordinator. So the coordinator will work with the hiring manager, and he will add any feedback from the hiring manager in that section. So here you can see on the 13th of November, an offer has been made and they're waiting for feedback, right? If you have here the CV, so you can see the CV that you have uploaded, and you can also see this file here, motivation and benefits for that candidate. That's a very important form you have to fill in. It's provided along with this instruction, so don't lose it. It's very important because here you can add key information for the hiring manager, such as salary, secondary benefits, availability, non-competition clause, and also some key skills of key aspects of the candidate that we need to know. So the short motivation, why the candidate does want to apply, but also what is his network looks like. So most of the position needs require a very strong network. So it's important to know, okay, what type of network does this candidate have? So that's very important to fill in. So the hiring manager can also see that and can also assess the quality of the application. Here you would see the project. So that's actually the vacancies this candidate has applied to. You could have several. It's pretty rare, but it could happen. And if you have several, you would see them here. So that's for the project session. So that's actually the most important one when you start on the platform. Here you have a section when you have all imported candidates. So you can see all the candidates you've submitted. And again, if you click on this candidate, you go back to the candidate profile information. And here you can add a candidate. So that's very interesting or very important. So let's do another test 4. You can choose your region. So I'll just pick the Netherlands as an example. You need to add an address. It's very important to add it. You can add here already a salary indication. So for example, this salary indication, here you could say no bonus. And you add obviously this URL, which is very important. So in this case, I don't have a LinkedIn URL, obviously, so I'll just create a MetrixLab URL, and I call it test 4, right? So the first name and the last name of that candidate. And don't forget to add the candidate to a project. So don't upload candidate just for the sake of it. Upload a candidate when you have a project to assign the candidate to. So let's say you want to add this candidate to the project list. And you can add the user. Here you automatically prompt the CV page. And in the CV page, that's where you're adding the CV and the motivation and additional form that I just talked about. So that's very important to add that here. So the coordinator gets everything and can then approve. If he doesn't have this, he probably won't approve your candidate. So it's very important not to forget. So now I can search for that candidate. I just created test 4. And I see it's pending. That's logical. And if I click on it, I can see all the information again that I've uploaded on that. One last thing that may be interesting for you to know. So here you have, for example, the list of all your candidates. So I clicked here. And here you have a little checkbox. You can always click on that box and go at the bottom of the page, and you can remove a candidate, or you can add a candidate to another project, right? So if I do this, I can say I want to add that candidate to this project, right? So I can save, and if I go again to look for that candidate, search. Normally, I should be able to see that she's now part of 2 projects, right? So that's pretty interesting. And if you want to remove a candidate for some reason, you can also do that from the checkbox. I think that's basically everything you need to know on the platform. So don't forget, it's very easy. Click on projects to see which projects are available, where you stand on each of the projects. And if you have any question, you can always contact recruitment@metrixlab.com, and the coordinator will get in touch with you to help you out with the platform and with the process. Thank you for your time. Have a good day.